Hey YouTubers, Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. I just want to do a quick vid for you guys. I get a lot of people asking me about 2018 forecast for the what's going to happen in 2018 for the housing market in Australia, New Zealand, from all over the English-speaking world. I get a lot of people asking me the same question: what's going to happen next year, Mike? What do I believe? What do my heart of hearts is telling me? Like people, beautiful people from all over the world messaging me, and it's really good. And people know and understand that I am not a realtor, and I basically just follow the trend and what's happening in the market and kind of discussing the corruption that's going on within the banks and underwriters and people going over their total debt service ratios. People understanding that when a house sells for a certain price, you need to understand the purchase price is different than what you put down into it, so it changes the purchase price of the house. There's a lot of things that are not being told properly. Too many underlying craps that are going out. You got a lot of real estate companies that are going out there and fudging numbers on, and people believe it. They look, oh, well, look, this company's saying this, oh, and this company is saying that, and these realtors are saying this. And then if you call up 10 realtors right now and you ask them if you should sell, they'll tell you, yeah, sell right now, because everyone's up for a commission. So there's a lot that's going on, people. A lot of little things that are really changing the market. Because in a normal market, rates would be 4.5 to 5% right across the board in a normal housing market. Two, we would have had a crash in the last, we would have had at least 2 crashes by now. But we haven't. We've propped it. We've basically adjusted the market, lowered interest rates to record low levels, and things have stagnated. Economy has stagnated. Wages haven't gone up. Cost of living is going up. What do I forecast for 2018? I have a feeling first week of April, let's say April 5th, 6th, 7th, a non-weekend day, of course. Non-weekend day, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th of April, first week of April. We're going to start getting in the first quarter results for sales, houses on the market, and what's happening. Basically, a good quarterly, but you can't really believe everything on there because a lot of it is lies. And the problem is when people sell a home now, they still got to move into another house. A lot of people would be like almost feel humiliated that have owned all their lives that have to go rent. So a lot of people, those people are on the fence. Should they sell? And if they do, they got to still go back into that same market unless they leave the country and then retire somewhere else, which a lot of people have been doing, which I'll do another show on another time about that. People leaving the country and moving to bigger, better places, right? Okay. So what's going on? What do I feel? What do I believe in my hearts of hearts? Australia, for the last 5 to 6 years to 10 years, they thought they could build themselves out of this problem, and they've been overbuilding themselves out of this problem. You see what happened in Perth when mining went down in the pits. You get it? In the pits, mining. Anyways, you see what happened with that, and then now, if you guys paid attention to my channel, Brisbane is down 80 large on the average. So Brisbane is on a huge decline, and then you have Melbourne and Sydney that are stagnating and plateauing. They're making it seem in the articles that prices are still on the rise, but it's the minimalist homes that are selling, that are the multi-million-dollar mansions that are kind of offsetting the market and misguiding people. You understand what I'm saying? So Australia for next year, second week of April, when the first quarter comes through, it's crazy. You're going to see huge mass hysteria because people right now on the market, there's more homes in the market right now in Brisbane than I think it was 2001 was the last time there was this many homes. But 2001 didn't have all these extra empty units and all these speculators in the market back in those days. Now it's like super uber goober. So that's what I forecast for Australia. First week of April, you're going to see a huge shift. It's going to affect every Australian. People waiting on the sidelines, I recommend just to wait. Wait it out. Just you've been on the sidelines all this time. It doesn't hurt. Don't jump on any deals right now. Just relax, because you're going to see a lot of the empty units that weren't occupied going up, repossessed by the banks. So pay attention to that. So don't jump right away because you're going to fear of being bought out again. You won't. Okay. New Zealand. Right now, New Zealand, Auckland, and surrounding areas, West and East Auckland, I see this new law taking into effect in January, where people are not allowed to buy foreigners or speculators are not allowed to buy in the country. And then if you are selling to upgrade, you have to prove you have X amount of people living in your house. That's amazing. That actually controls. It's a good control in a way where the housing is not treated as a commodity. It's actually treated like an asset, like it should be. Not something on the stock market, and not buying out people's futures and the next generation's future and the next generation's future. What's happening in London? London mayor still believes that he could build himself out of this crisis, and it's not going to work. He's taking up green space and gardens and building to the sky high. And that was an article I read a month and a half ago. And right now in London, you're seeing a mass exodus of people, millennials leaving, and you're seeing the increase in prices of towns outside of London going up in value because those towns are seeing a boom of influx of young people moving in. That's a really good thing. So London, same thing. April, first week of April, you'll see when the numbers come in, you'll see an incredible amount of supply on the market. No one's buying it. It's unaffordable. And let's move on to Edinburgh, Scotland. Same thing. Edinburgh, this last 18 months have skyrocketed, being one of the most expensive cities to go up in an incline that it has in the last 18 months. You're going to start seeing a lot on the market. Same thing with Dublin. A lot of jobs, people cannot fill positions in a lot of companies in Dublin and Ireland because they cannot make ends meet when it comes to finding employees that could afford to live. Canada, Toronto, woo! Mass crash in Toronto. You're going to see a huge problem in Toronto, and it's going to get a lot worse. So Toronto, you're going to see huge oversupply on the market come April. I don't know how the realtors are going to fudge or rework the numbers on how they're going to get things done. I don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to do it to misinform people that housing is still going up and misinforming people that housing is still good. It's a good asset. It's a good thing to get into right now. No, I don't know how they're going to do it in Toronto because the amount of product that's on the market right now is phenomenal. Now let's move over to Vancouver. I think they're going to see a crash in West Vancouver first, and it's going to head south, and it's going to head towards east into the interior. And it's going to be a shockwave through Vancouver, a tsunami, and it's going to head. And eventually, when Vancouver does go down, the entire tsunami is going to head east back to Toronto, and it's going to bring it, and it's going to bring Toronto shock housing prices even more in Toronto. And a lot of speculators are going to get worried and pull out of the market and get what they can from their properties. So I'm forecasting everything to happen for April. What's going to happen in the U.S.? The U.S. is very interesting because in Seattle and in Tacoma and all these other cities, and also in Oregon, in Portland, all along the West Coast there, you got a lot of people leaving California and moving north. And then you have a lot of people, speculators coming in and buying in Seattle and all those other cities and hoping to, again, invest in housing and flip it, right? So what's happening with that? Oh, God. Because it's already been passed in the U.S. that it's racist or it's against their constitution to put any foreign buyers tax in, to put any protection of its American proper citizen, I think you're going to see the United States housing prices balloon to beyond what it was in 2008 because there's no stipulations put into place to protect the American proper. And I think what's going to happen, America's going to get bought under its feet in the next 3 years. There won't be a housing crash there, but there's going to be housing increase there beyond tenfold that ever happened in Canada. Because in the United States, there's these constitutions and laws put into place to protect their people, but it's pretty much protecting all people in a way, and it's not protecting their proper citizens living in the United States. So let me know what you guys think. I think Vancouver, same thing. First week of April. Once the numbers come out, I think the realtors and real estate companies and all these guys that are producing these numbers can only go so far in fooling people. And there's a sucker born all the time. And I don't want to say it to people and make them feel bad, but this. Real estate agents are always looking for them suckers to get into the market now and to buy at the wrong time. Not to buy at the wrong time, but just to get their commission and to get them, My advice, people are asking what's going to happen. First week of April, after the first quarter results come out, if they don't become illegal to publish or someone steps in and intervenes, because you never know with this housing market. By the way, we're not allowed to publish those stats anymore. It's against the law. You'd be surprised if they actually ever said that. It wouldn't surprise me. It would be like, oh, okay, I guess we got to go with the flow and keep this Ponzi scheme going. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Comment below. I'd like to know your comments on this. It means a lot to me. And, yeah, comment below. April, first week of April. I have a feeling that's my feeling on what's going to happen. Thanks for when the poop's going to hit the fan, and it's going to be a global, international thing. It's going to be a domino effect, and it's starting in Australia. It's starting in Brisbane right now, and it's in Toronto right now. The worst two cities of all. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.